Good morning and welcome to the June 7th session. And before we start, we always open with a prayer. Michael, you scared me. I didn't think you were coming.
I'm here. Thank you, commissioners. It's an honor to be here today. Let's bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, Lord, in our hearts we plan our course today, but we pray that you establish our steps. And I pray that we seek you for advice and let us not make decisions based upon what we know, but based upon your wisdom. I specifically pray for those gathered in this chamber that you invite them to preside over this meeting, even if we have different opinions. Give us unity of spirit. Help us to each listen politely as others share their points of view, and help us to work as a unified force, combining ideas for a greater outcome. Satisfy the needs that need to be met during this meeting. Strengthen us as we make our tough decisions. We commit this meeting to you. We desire your glory and blessing in all we do, and direct our thoughts and words and decisions for the people of this beloved county that we call home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Great message. Commissioner Corcoran, you want to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge that Commissioner Painter will not be with us today. And next, we need to appoint, Rebecca as our clerk pro temp. Can I have a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion.
I will second. Roll call.
You got to do an add-on first.
Oh, that's right.
Look at this. Boy, she's bossing before we even get started.
Wait a minute. Very
I don't want to appoint her. Okay.
It's all about Becca today.
Commissioner Corcoran, would you like to make a motion?
I certainly would.
Sounds like you better.
If you make it, I'll second it.
I'm making it.
I'll
make a
second.
motion.
Now roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Can I now make a motion to appoint Rebecca as clerk pro temp?
You made the motion. I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Thank you. She's going to keep us in line today, I can see. Who needs Gail with Becca here, right? Next on the agenda is the approval of the regular session minutes of May 31st, 23. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Next, we have some new employees that we are very happy to see. Department of Job and Family Services. Daphne, you want to introduce your new people?
Come on up, don't be afraid.
Let me ask one question. Mike, do you want to get every new employee together as one group? So if you won't leave after this, okay?
Okay, so to my left is Alicia Malacote. Alicia grew up in Batavia and has lived in Clermont County her entire life. She enjoys spending time with her friends and family, and her hobbies usually consist of reading, gaming, and going on new adventures to new places. She is very excited and grateful for her position to serve residents of this county. And we have Miss Stephanie Gomez. She is in the Public Assistance Department. She was born in Puerto Rico, but raised in Ohio with her family. She's a mother to an amazing baby boy named Liam. He's 2 years old, and his favorite toy is cars. On her free time, she loves to do arts and crafts, sewing, and scrapbooking.
Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Water Resources, Lyle? Goodness sakes,
Wow.
a whole new department.
Yes. Almost.
Wow.
So, and I'll probably screw some of this up. Corey Jodry, is a maintenance tech. He's working in our electro maintenance division, which is working on our lift stations. He operates and helps with maintenance of those lift stations. He has a bachelor's of science in animal science from the Ohio State University and currently resides in Winchester, Ohio.
You got that part right. The Ohio State.
The Ohio State, right? I made sure. CJ Yates, there you go, right there, right behind me. CJ is also a maintenance tech. He's working in our wastewater collections division, working on our CCTV van. So he's televising sanitary sewers, assisting with that. Currently resides in Williamsburg, Ohio. Previously worked or currently probably still works as a mechanic, and went to Clermont Northeastern High School. Next is Caleb Faulkner. There you are. All right, Caleb. Caleb is a operator 1 in wastewater treatment. He's working at our O'Bannon wastewater treatment plant up in Goshen. He is new to wastewater treatment, no prior experience, so he'll have 2 years to get his Class 1 license. Most recently worked as a CNC mill machinist and is residing in Midland, Ohio, out in Clinton County. And last but not least, Ruben, and if I Demarest. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't screw that up. Ruben is an operator 1 in water treatment. He's working at our Bob McEwen water treatment plant up off Greenbrier, and he'll be working 3rd shift. You're still on 1st right now as you're training. And Ruben lives in Amelia, Ohio, so he's local. We're glad to have all 4 of them.
Welcome, all of you.
Thank you. Hang out. You guys will get a group photo. Okay.
Chris?
Good morning. I want to introduce our newest team member who unfortunately couldn't make it this morning, Calvin Barrett. He'll be a Systems Analyst 1 working at the help desk. Calvin's been a Clermont County resident his whole life. Growing up, he enjoyed soccer, computer enthusiast, and he graduated from Williamsburg High School in 2016. His interest in computers led him to a network engineering degree from Indiana Tech in 2020. And Calvin says that he's excited to be part of the Clermont County team and looks forward to learning from the experienced team members in our department.
Thank you. We welcome all of you to our family. Thank you.
Chris, is there a mic with your department? Sorry.
That's okay.
Mike
Mike Elias?
that answers the phone for
Yeah.
help? Yeah, he was very helpful this morning when I locked out my computer.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Again. Yeah, I did. Okay.
She does that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to line up in front of here and he'll take at least 3 pictures, I'll warn you.
Don't blink.
Yeah. I'm usually the one that does. Come right on front of the bench.
Just right up through here.
I don't know if he wants.
Look at the ladies running so they don't want to be in the pictures.
Ready?
Look at him make me out a liar. He had to do 4. Welcome, everyone. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Okay. It's always nice to see a bunch of new employees come on board. Okay, moving on to item C. Dan, presentation from you today. You should have brought my new little friend with you.
Oh, yeah, I
He
cannot.
graduated and now he's,
He's on, doing his thing. So I certainly cannot meet his dance moves for sure.
Oh,
So-
no. I like the way he took the microphone away from you.
oh yeah, he just.
This was at the graduation.
Yeah. So I'm Dan Ottke. I'm superintendent with Clermont DD. With me this morning is Lisa Davis, our public relations director, Dave Sininger, our business operations director. So yeah, thank you so much.
That was
we had,
so great.
I want to start off just thanking the commissioners for all the support you provide for and present for the people that we serve. Attending the graduation our 55th anniversary picnic last year.
So much fun. I had
Yeah.
more fun than the kids did.
Yeah, it was a great time, and graduation was awesome.
Was
we had,
hilarious.
it just is. It's a great event to be able to celebrate with those students and families, and so appreciative of you guys being able to be there. So, so thank you very much for the opportunity this morning to present about an upcoming levy request that we have. One of the things that also Commissioner Batchelor participated in and Commissioner Painter was our strategic planning session. So we had recently had strategic stakeholder meetings with community stakeholders, families, individuals served, because we're looking out to the future. And obviously, one of the key things that we have to look at when we're looking at future needs is financial resources. And that's what this morning's presentation is all about. So, so I'll jump right in and share a little bit about kind of where we stand right now. So this shows you currently kind of where we are in terms of our current levies. So we have 3 continuous levies. So a 0.2 continuing levy that was passed in 1977, 0.9 continuing levy that was replaced and passed in 2010. And then in 2016, we had 2 continuous levies. So we had a 1 mil and a 0.4 mil levy that were replaced and combined in 2016. But the one this morning that I'm here to present about is our 0.75 mil 5-year operating levy. So that is set to expire at the end of this year. So without that last number there, without it being renewed, that last number would go away. And that's about a little under a quarter of the funds that we get from the local perspective.
Dan, I have a question.
Yes.
So have you ever considered combining all of these or renewing them all into one? Because most people don't understand levies. You only get what is generated at the time, and with all the new construction and everything coming in, it doesn't build more onto that levy.
More. Yeah, and that's certainly something strategically that we want to talk with our board about. The 1.4, so that is actually after that's about 7 years old now in terms of that. The 0.9 mil continuing, those are all considerations, and obviously that old 0.2 mil that's been out there for a long time, kind of thing. So these are things strategically we want to talk with our board about in terms of looking at.
That would generate a lot more if you.
It would be able to replace and combine those. Certainly, that's a consideration strategically for sure. So thank you. Yeah. So as mentioned, that 0.75 mil 5-year operating levy without its renewal, that would, again, that number at the bottom would go away. And so that would certainly have a dramatic impact on the services for the 1,200 or so odds individuals that we serve throughout the county. So certainly it's a very important topic this morning to bring to bear. So this is one of my favorite slides. I know it's very small, so it's hard to read, but what I want to communicate with this slide is the fact that we're somewhat unique, and in fact, rather unique in terms of the fact that we provide services through the lifespan. So it is not an unusual situation for those of us, and I'm going to look to Lisa and Dave, for those of us who've been working in the field for a little while, kind of thing, 27 years for me, almost 30 combined with some other things. It's not unusual for us to see a small child grow into an adult. And that's sort of the thing that is nice about the job that we have, is we have an opportunity to see folks grow and to be able to see how their life, their growth is experienced. So, but certainly it's a situation, one of the things if you look at this map, we start at the earliest of ages. So we have early intervention services where we are actually working with families from birth. So if it's a situation that they have identified, they have a disability, we have therapists that are actually working with them. And our goal with that, and really throughout this entire life map, is to really encourage the fact that our goal is to be able to support those individuals, those children, those kids who are transitioning from school to the adult world, become as independent as they possibly can. So ultimately, with early intervention, our hope is if we do the things that we need to do early, they may not need as many services for the lifespan, kind of thing. And you can go throughout this entire path. So in school age, We're working on employment skills. We're working with our local districts to support that. We're also working on daily living skills. So the concept and the idea is that hopefully they'll need fewer services as they transition into the adult realm. But of course, if they do need those, that's why we're here. And we do serve a lot of individuals who do need those services throughout the lifespan because of just their needs. And so that's what makes it somewhat unique in terms of the services that we provide. They do span across the lifespan. And so that is something for us to consider when we're talking about resources, making sure we have those resources, especially as I get into a couple of next slides talking about some of the trends that we're seeing. So services and partnerships, this just is a list, not all encompassing, but certainly I think pretty encompassing of the things that we're involved with either directly. So either things that we're providing directly or we're partnering with providers in our county to provide. So early intervention, I've already mentioned that, and school age services. So we do provide we are the provider of early intervention services directly. And then we do operate a small school age program, but we also partner with all the school districts in Clermont County for services for children. Residential and day supports, this is including transportation. So we work with a number, we do not provide this directly, but we partner with a number of providers in our county who provide the residential and day support for individuals that we serve. These are obviously mostly for adults, although we do have some instances where kids who are a little bit older, teens, get some of these services as well. So this is a situation where, and most of these are in situations where they're homes that are 4 to 6 bed options for individuals. And then our day service programs are all services around, really spread throughout the county where folks can attend during the day. Our ultimate goal, which is the bullet point about 5 down, which is vocational and support employment. We always have a presentation each year where we come and talk about National Disability Employment Awareness Month in October. Our goal is to support individuals to work. So that is ultimately employment first is the thing that we always strive for first. And we have a program, we operate a community employment program that supports people to get jobs. But we also recognize, just like to the previous slide, everybody is on a different path. So sometimes they may be on the path to employment, but it's going to take them a little longer. Or sometimes maybe just employment is just not a possibility based on the significance of the person's needs. So that's why we have partnerships with different entities to provide the day supports needed throughout the county. Behavior support, this is something we provide as well, along with, which I didn't include in this, we also operate a behavioral health, mental health, because one of the things we saw it's been about 6 or 7 years ago, was the increasing need of the individuals that we support that have also co-occurring mental health needs. And we also had providers, but one of the challenges that we were finding was we're finding providers that were adept at maybe being able to support the people that we have. So we started a small program to support individuals in that way as well. And that's been very successful. And we've seen that really during the pandemic, that's been huge as well, because of just with all the different things that occurred with the isolation, we have seen increasing needs with those mental health needs co-occurring with their intellectual or developmental disability as well. So that's something we also provide. Drop-in supports in the home. So this is really for folks who we serve a lot of individuals who are very independent. They live on their own, but they just need a little bit extra help with either things like their medication, making sure they're getting their meals properly and things of that sort. So we have providers, a lot of independent providers that provide those services and are available to provide those in the community as well. And then as you kind of go down the list here, respite and family support services. So we work with a number of families, as you can imagine, that when you have a child with a developmental or intellectual disability, there's just a lot of things that kind of come along with that that are different for those of us who don't. And so, and one of the things that's very important for us is to work to provide respite opportunities, because sometimes just needing a break is huge. It goes a long way to be able for them to be able to take on the next challenge the next day kind of thing. And so those are things we recognize as very important. And then we operate, a family support service program as well. This is just to be able to provide some resources, again, for things like, which you go down the next bullet point, things like equipment, things like respite, things that can provide for the family's needs as that child ages. Adaptive equipment and accessibility needs. We work very closely with therapists from our Council of Government and doing different things that are needed for individuals in their homes. We also have seen a huge increase, which is really great in terms of technology options for individuals. So that's something, along with employment first, we're also looking at technology first, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but certainly very, very important. And then these last two things are not necessarily the things that are, these are sort of the tougher situations that we deal with. So probably out of investigations. So if you look at the bottom bullet point, out of our investigative situation, so we have a full team of investigators that have to look into allegations of abuse, neglect, things of that sort that are not the fun part of the things that we deal with, but certainly the things that are very important to make sure people are healthy and safe in our community that we serve. And from that can oftentimes trigger what we would define as emergencies that we have to jump in and assist. So we may have to go in, actually find a new place for that individual to live, provide the funding for that person to be able to live in that place because of the situation that they were faced with out of that emergency. So, and every year we plan for about 10 of those, but any given year it can be a little bit more depending on the circumstances, kind of thing. So, and then these are just some of the trends that, certainly we're seeing. And I know with Commissioner Corcoran, you sit on the Family and Children First Council, so you certainly hear a lot about this at those council meetings. We're just seeing a huge increase in terms of the needs of youth. And this is something we're keeping a very close eye on. And this is not just in Clermont County. This is statewide. This is really across systems. And so with that, what we're seeing is there are often situations where the health and safety, the needs are so intense that something has to be done to be able to maybe find a temporary place for that child to be for a period while we work through the challenges of making sure we can get back to a healthy and safe place in the home environment. And so those are situations that we work very closely with our children's services partners, our partners around the county, to make sure we're working in conjunction with them. And also, this is a statewide initiative too. So things like Medicaid Ohio Rise, certainly those are things that are moving along, but we know that we're, certainly it's a situation we're keeping a close eye on how we're involved with that as well. We're seeing obviously continuing growth in early intervention. I think it was about a 15% increase from last year to this year alone, just in terms of the number of children that were referred and received services. And that we're seeing, certainly there was a little dip in that during COVID, obviously, but past that, it has just, the trajectory has just continued to increase. And that for us is the indicator, like, if we're seeing it there, then we're also anticipating that we're going to see it as obviously those kids age and become adults. Prevalence of autism diagnoses. So back in 2003, when this levy was first put on the books, the prevalence of an autism diagnosis was about 1 in 150. In 2020, it was 1 in 36. So, and we're not, I want to make sure we don't serve every person because autism, it is on a spectrum. So it is a situation. There are folks with high, would be considered high function, without the needs maybe, but we do serve a number of individuals with very intensive needs with autism. And that's just one diagnosis. You could, kind of layer it in with many different, but that's a pretty significant change just in the matter of 17 years. So certainly we're seeing growth in that area. And then just the rest of this list is pretty straightforward. Certainly we understand which is wonderful. We're seeing folks live longer. We're seeing children who are born at a very early, pre and at 20 weeks or 25 weeks, having significant needs. It's all very, 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 very good things in terms of the medical availability that we have in our world today, in our nation today. But certainly that has an impact in terms of what that means for us in terms of service provision. As the baby boomer generation gets to retirement age, we're seeing obviously a lot of caregivers who have cared for their loved ones, but are getting to that age where they, that's going to be harder and harder. So that's a trend we have to obviously always keep a close eye on, because we have to be prepared to be able to serve those individuals if their family members are not able to. I did see some census data not too long ago where Clermont County is expected to grow into 2040. It is a growing county, so it will be a situation we can anticipate with that. The population we serve will grow just based on the needs there. And then I think which is one of the things we've certainly seen generationally, is an awareness of services. So we definitely see a situation where families today are, which is a good thing, they are seeking out assistance. They want, they want that help, and we want to provide that for them. And so with that, certainly we see an increase there. And then these last two things, which is something that is of concern, both an internal concern for us at our agency directly, and then for our provider community, is this workforce concerns that we're continuing to see. We've had, challenges with being able to hire and retain some of our service and support administrators, those positions, which I would say 5 to 7, 10 years ago, we've had very little concern with that. It was always a situation we had a little bit of turnover, maybe things of that sort, but we are seeing that increase pretty dramatically in our arena. And then our provider sector, obviously the folks that provide the services in our community, that's been a struggle actually prior to COVID, and then COVID threw it into a major realm. But certainly it's a situation that obviously we want to keep a close eye on that, because recognizing that with needs increasing, we need to be ready for and have the workforce necessary to be able to meet those needs. And then the last bullet point, which is actually in a way to hopefully combat that a little bit, is the expansion of technology. So we are certainly seeing instances where there are technological means by which individuals can receive services. So for example, if I'm living on my own in an apartment, I can have certain devices that remind me to take my medication. We actually have systems now where if folks are open to that, they can actually have someone who chimes in over a iPad or some kind of device to be able to communicate to see how the person's doing without a physical person having to go there. And so certainly that's something that we're striving to expand here in the county as well. So that's one way that we're hoping to combat some of the workforce concerns that we're seeing throughout the county and really throughout the state. So with that, our board resolved to request the commissioners that the 0.75 mil 5-year operating levy, originally passed in 2003, be put before the voters for renewal in the November election. So for each $100,000 of appraised property value, the cost of the levy is about $19 per year. This renewal would not result in any increased costs to the taxpayer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the presentation. For anyone that's never visited the school and got to meet some of your, I call them children, they're not really, some of them, but they are special. The people that work there are special. For you to work with those clients, it takes a special person, and I praise you for what you do over there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is, it's pretty nice when I can step out of my office, maybe walk down that school age hallway, kind of get a glimpse of, kind of why we do this every day kind of thing. So, and certainly then that's just a small picture of the full scope of what's happening across this community. It's truly amazing there, to be able to see the things that are occurring for people. I was just popped into the library the other day, and there was an individual we serve and his provider. They were getting a library card. It was just very it was very cool to see, just that kind of, and that's what we strive for. Obviously, the inclusion aspects, making sure people are included in the things that happen across our entire community, and that's what we strive to do every day. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come present about this this morning. And certainly if you have any further questions, I do have our annual report, so I can leave this here for you guys. If you'd like to take a look at that, provides a little more in-depth information, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have post when we have here.
And when your last graduate gets his touring, gig on to go out and sing and dance, be sure and let us
Yeah,
know.
we'll pass that along for sure.
For those
Yeah,
that
I
weren't
was like,
there.
I'm not keeping that mic. You got it. You celebrate like it's.
He literally took the mic out of his hands and went to singing and
then Lisa
dancing.
turned on the music, and
He was
it
quite
was
a
on at that
character.
point. I mean, it was great. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys being there. So.
They are wonderful people.
Yeah.
They ask for not much in life, and they're so excited about anything great in their life, especially the graduation. I think it's the sweetest thing in the world. I mean, they're so excited they hardly contain themselves, waiting just to get that diploma to get out of there. It's like, where's the celebration?
Yeah.
Thank you to you and your staff for all that you do. We have a very special unit with you guys here in Clermont County that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere else. I appreciate everything you do. It's so clean and neat when you walk in there, and the care is just beyond. As many times as I've been in there, I've never felt anything but warmth when I've gone in towards the clients and towards anybody who's working in there. Thank you, each and every one of you.
Well, thank you on behalf of our board. Want to thank you again. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know. So
Thank you, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item D, public participation. Don't see anyone. Wade, you have something for us this morning.
Thank you, commissioners, and thank you for your time. David, is it okay to move this underneath? Today I actually have regarding the juvenile court expansion project.
This is an add-on.
We have two change orders.
We need to move up county staff, elected official.
Do what?
Move up county staff.
I don't mind. Move up or wait.
I got Wade and staff.
Okay.
I'm doing what Thomas told me to do.
I'm not going to argue with Tom. I mean,
I'm scared of
and
him.
me too.
This is the 15336 committee. Correct, Wade?
That is correct, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
so these are
Right.
change order requests. These aren't the actual change orders.
So the first one comprises of change order number 70, which is the wood door delivery delay. Because we are not conditioned in the building currently, our wooden door delivery will be delayed, but they have to be stored because we were supposed to have them out of there by a certain day. There are over 200 doors in the building. The sheriff was kind. He was going to allow us to put them in their storage building, but as I talked to him, it would cost us double the amount to move them twice. So we elected to just leave them here at the manufacturer and we'll get them when we're ready. So that is actually a $1,930.07 increase. COR 72R1 is ductwork changes. In the IT area, I was very concerned that there was not enough airflow. So we changed from rectangular duct to round duct, which increased the velocity or the CFMs that are going into there. Round duct is cheaper than rectangular, so we received a credit of $813.73. On the second and third pages would be your acceptance or denial of each one of those individually.
We'll have to go ahead and do the vote on the first change order request.
Yes,
Yes, which is the door storage.
that will be the doors. So we're going to ask for a vote on COR change order request number 70.
Do we need to add these first or not?
What's that?
This is not an
Yeah,
add-on.
This is just for your committee.
Discussion, and if you approve, then we'll come back later with an add-on.
All right.
So we would need a yay or a nay on
COR 70.
COR 70, which is the wooden door delay.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Okay. And then you would sign it accordingly. And after that, we would need a vote on change order request 72R1, which is the ductwork changes, which is a credit of $813 and change.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And
Am I
so
allowed to vote on a credit? Can I vote on a credit?
I voted twice on that one. We don't get those very often, do we? Thank you, sir.
So where's the page?
All the way in the front.
Oh, is that for both of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
You would
I was
need
looking.
to sign it.
Duh.
And this is
She
change
didn't want to
order,
give the credit.
change order 1. I have another change order on soil stabilization, which we'll go over next.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome, Wade.
The second discussion we want to have is one additional change order, and that will be change order 73R2, which is undercutting at the main entrance to the building.
Which was the old,
So just a brief explanation, 6 or so weeks ago, I was on vacation. Mr. Eigel called me. There was a $290,000 request made by the contractor to go ahead and soil stabilize the entire parking lot. Jointly, we decided, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to wait. Okay. 6 weeks later, we waited and we passed. We did not require to have that soil stabilized. There was a small section in front of the building, which we had to leave asphalt at so people could gain access to the building. We took it up Monday, and there's a $29,000 failure. So in the big picture, you saved $290,000, but it cost 29 or 10% of that. So that's something that needs to go through the committee and take a vote on that. So the total amount of change order request 73R2 is an increase of $29,782. And that would require a vote.
Commissioner Corcoran?
yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
And that would conclude this. We will be back later to do an add-on to make it official.
All right, that works. Thank you,
For
Wade.
your time and patience.
And we thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much. If I may, I want to just thank all the people that pull these things together. Rebecca, Angie, Jennifer in my office, Mr. Eigel, Mr. Bickford. I mean, some of these times these things have to happen quickly, and in a matter of an hour or so, you have to get this done, go to the committee, and then come back to you. So thank you very much for your cooperation. I'll see you in a minute.
Hey. Okay, moving on to item E, consent agenda. Commissioner, we've had this in time to review. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I will second. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Moving on to non-consent agenda. Item 12, it is the recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 058-23, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the total amount $2,234,254.52 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated June 7, 2023, BCC directed prepaid invoices report and or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on June 5th, 2023, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Hi, Jennifer.
Good morning. Okay. Just jumping up here so we can get started.
That's fine.
I have a recommendation from Linda L. Fraley, Clermont County Auditor, to authorize Bonnie Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the amendment number 3 and number 4 to the memorandum of agreement between Keith Faber, Ohio Auditor Estate, Julian and Grube, an independent public accountant, and the Board of County Commissioners for the engagement of the annual audit for the County of Clermont, Ohio, which includes the Clermont County Port Authority and the Clermont County Community Improvement Corporation for calendar years 2019 through 2023, previously ratified on December 18th, 2019, and amended on May 12th, 2021. Amendment number 3 reflects the addition of 3 federal programs to be tested for a cost of $5,250 for the audit of calendar year 2022. Amendment number 4 reflects the audit of the Clermont County Land Reutilization Corporation for a cost of $750 for calendar year 2022, which reflects a one-time total increase of $6,000 for the audit of calendar year 2022. All other terms and conditions of the agreement are to remain in full force and effect and are contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Thank you. Commissioner, we've had the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any corrections or discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Mr. Maloney,
Hello.
good morning.
Jim Maloney, the administrator for Clermont County Sheriff's Office, and I'm here to ask for $1.2 million before juvenile court does.
Denied.
Wait, you might as well go home. It's over.
You know, Gary's after you, so.
Yeah, that's, so all kidding aside, I have number 14, recommendation to execute a contract for law enforcement services between the Clermont County Board of Commissioners, the Clermont County Sheriff, and the Bethel Tate Local School District for the provision of one contract deputy for the Bethel Tate High School. Bethel Tate Local School District shall be responsible for an annual cost of $100.36 for a bullet-resistant vest, and all costs and expenses as outlined below, effective for a period of 3 years commencing on 1/1/2023 through 12/31/2025, and pursuant to the terms and conditions and in compliance with Section 311.29 of the Ohio Revised Code. In year 2023, personnel cost will be $46,305.39. Vehicle cost $2,500 even. Uniform and equipment $284.84. In 2024, personnel cost of $48,376.69. Vehicle cost of $2,500 even, and a uniform equipment cost of $293.39. In 2025, the personnel costs go to $50,560.84. Vehicle cost remains the same at $2,500, and we have uniform and equipment at $302.19.
Thank you. Commissioner, we've had the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Any discussion?
No.
I'll second that, by the way. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
You want $1 million, right?
$1,000,002.
$1,000,002.
You can tell that Jim and I both have been around too long.
Good morning.
I'm Gary Bryant, Court Administrator for Juvenile Court. I have the recommendation to execute Amendment Number 6 to the contract for residential treatment services by and between the boards of county commissioners of the Ohio counties of Warren and Clermont and the juvenile divisions of the Court of Common Pleas of Warren and Clermont through the respective judges for male juvenile offenders at the Mary Haven Youth Center, a division of Warren County Probate Juvenile Court, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on July the 12th, 2017, and subsequently amended 5 times for the participation in the Responsibility Pathways RAP program at a rate of $200 per day per bed if space is available, effective for the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, with all other terms and conditions of the original contract and amendments thereto to remain in full force and effect.
Thank you, Gary. We've had the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Gary. Tom, you're doing 16?
Yeah, I can do 16. 16 is a recommendation to authorize Commissioner Batchelor, President of the Board, and this is to execute an operating agreement with M3 ATM Solutions. And this is for our ATM machines at the Batavia, Beachmont, and Milford Auto Title offices. It's effective April 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2026.
Thank you. We have had the reading of item number 16. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I will second. Any discussion?
The only question I had, were there other vendors that were involved in this originally to whether or not, I know that'd be up to the
This has
clerk.
been in effect, I believe, quite some time, correct? So I think they're just renewing the agreement.
Just,
with this
okay.
vendor.
All right, thank you.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Hi, Sandy.
Morning.
I have a recommendation to amend Appendix 4.09 of the Clermont County Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual with respect to the county's classification plan. That recommendation is to change the pay range of the TTD Program Manager 1 from a pay range 14 to a pay range A, effective upon approval, and to authorize us to update the internet links and appendices.
Thank you. We've had the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion?
I will second. Any discussion?
None.
Roll call?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you. You don't look like Jeremy.
We swapped. Okay, good morning. Item 18 is a recommendation to accept the 2022 annual report of the Clermont County Roads, Bridges, and Culverts as received on May 22nd, and this is pursuant to Section 554302 of the Ohio Revised Code. May 22nd, Jeremy was here and presented that report, so this is just the official acknowledgement of the acceptance.
Thank you. We've had the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion?
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, Becca.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. 19.
Item 19 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 59-23, and this is resolving to proceed to file a petition for appropriation of real property. This is for a portion of 2 parcels that consist of purchasing a permanent and a temporary easement over and through their property located in Miami Township. This property is owned by Shannon Hogan and Peter Kulik. This will be in concert with the Cook Road Bridge replacement project located in Miami Township. We also need to resolve to authorize a declaration of intent to take possession and file that with the clerk with a authorization. Thirdly, to cut a check in the amount of $3,337, which will be deposited. That amount represents the county's appraisal of the value of the property to be appropriated and any damages thereto. And further authorize the county auditor to issue the reference payment subsequent to that.
Thank you. We've had the reading of item number 19. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion?
I'll second that. Any discussion?
None.
Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you. We'll now have the Lyle show.
Before I jump into the agenda items, I was just going to update you on drinking water. We've had, over the past few days, we've had some complaints from customers on discolored water. I was speaking with customer service and our treatment plant operators that those issues seem to be clearing up. Was really caused by an increase in water demand. Over the weekend, we reached, let's see here, 25.536 million gallons of water produced, which was the highest that we have on record. Our typical day is 12, 13, 14 million gallons a day, but because of the dry weather, more people filling pools, watering their lawns, things like that. And so we're pumping more water. It increases the velocities in the pipes and stirred up some iron and manganese that had settled out in the pipes over the years. So that's what the people were seeing. And we believe that it's clearing up. And again, it's not an issue with the drinking water quality. It's an aesthetic concern. Of course, you
Just
see
doesn't
water
look
that,
nice when you're drinking.
and you really can only see it like if you're primarily it's like in a coffee cup, something that's white, or in a toilet bowl, something like that. And you see that slight tint, but it is clearing up and seems to be improving. And with the recent rain we had last night, water demand is starting to drop a little bit, but if we go back into another dry spell, it'll probably pick back up.
Okay.
If there's no questions on that, I'll jump into the agenda. Okay. So item number 20 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 060-23 to authorize Commissioner Batchelor to execute a release of easement that was previously granted to the Board of County Commissioners for parcel number 18-24-02B-042 located on State Route 28 in Miami Township, releasing all interest in the permanent water easement and right-of-way to Lorvin Milford LLC out of Dayton, Ohio. And this is an old easement that's on a commercial property that I believe they're preparing to develop, and we no longer need the easement.
Okay. We have had the reading of item number 20. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion?
I will second. Any discussion?
None.
Roll call, Becca.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Number 21,
Item 21 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of permanent sewer easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement. We granted and conveyed to Clermont County by the grantor as outlined below for utility purposes. And this is for project number 6402-60116 for the Newtonsville Collection System Assessment Project located in Wayne Township, and to authorize the county auditor to remit payment as compensation for the permanent easement and right-of-way. And the grantors are Joseph and Linda Mast for property along Wright Street in Newtonsville. And this is during construction. We realized we needed an additional easement, so we were able to get that. And the project is continuing. The collection system is actually almost done with construction, and they're still working on the treatment plant. By this fall, we should be done and
Wonderful.
ready to have a ribbon cutting.
another ribbon cutting, yay.
This will be a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had the reading of item number 21. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any discussion?
None.
Roll call?
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Number 22,
Item 22 is a recommendation to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Majors Enterprises Incorporated out of Monroe, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the board on December 6, 2021 for the State Route 125 water main replacement project located in Batavia and Pierce Townships, and represents a decrease in the amount of $76,962.50 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $781,847.50, as well as a non-compensable time extension of 65 calendar days for a revised contract completion date of June 10th, 2022. And this is the final change order on the project.
wait, did you get that? A decrease of 76,000? You just showed him up, Lyle. We've had the reading of item number 22. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Roll call, Becca.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Item 23 is a recommendation to execute an extension of contract between Clermont County and Gullet Sanitation Services out of Bethel, Ohio for sludge and raw wastewater hauling services for the Clermont County Water Resources Department. This was previously ratified by the board on July 27, 2022 for an additional one-year period through August 24, 2024, pursuant to and in compliance with Article 8 of the reference contract, with all other terms and conditions to remain in full force and effect, and contingent upon the release of the necessary purchase order.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 23. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call, Becca?
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lyle. You gonna top him now, Wade?
I let everybody down. All right, maybe next time. Number 24 is a recommendation to approve the solicitation of request for statement of qualifications, in short, an SOQ, for as-needed architectural professional design services aimed at creating, reviewing, and approving the appropriate documents for submittal of building code compliance as it relates to remodeling and/or construction of offices, building structures, and/or other appurtenances, pursuant to and in compliance with Ohio Revised Code Section 153.68, and to authorize the clerk of the board to today that'd be you, to place a legal notice in the newspaper of general circulation on June 15, 2023, with the SOQs to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, July 6, 2023, in the office of the Board of County Commissioners here in Batavia, Ohio, where they will be publicly opened and acknowledged shortly thereafter. This notice is also posted on Clermont County's website, www.clermontcountyohio.gov. This is a standard every year thing that we've been doing for the last several, just so we have several architects who might be interested in our projects, and we can choose and negotiate with each one of them.
Okay. Thank you, Wade. We've had the reading of item number 24. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
I will second. Any discussion? Roll call, Becca?
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Wade. 25, Becca, I have you down.
Yep. All right, this is a recommendation to acknowledge the filing of a petition for annexation of 6.0640 acres from Williamsburg Township, Clermont County, Ohio, to the Village of Williamsburg, Clermont County, Ohio. Filed in the Office of the Board of County Commissioners on Wednesday, May 31st, 2023 by Michael Minier, Attorney at Law in Milford, for and on behalf of Agent Andrew Gephardt in Williamsburg, Ohio. For the petitioner, Redstone Properties, Louis Rubenston. Parcel identification numbers are 5235098H138B, 5235098H131B, 5235098H064A, and 5235098H062A. And in compliance with Section 7092 of the Revised Code, pursuant to Resolution Number 2103, adopted by the Board of County Commissioners on February 25th, 2003, notification of the date, time, and place of the public hearing was sent to Attorney Michael Minier and Agent Andrew Gephardt via email on Thursday, June 1st, 2023, designating Wednesday, August 16th, 2023 at 11 a.m. local time in the office of the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, 3rd floor, Batavia, Ohio, as the date, time, and place for the public hearing.
Thank you. We have had the reading of item number 25. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
I will second. Any discussion?
None.
Roll call, Becca.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. Not to be outdone, but I think the next time that you appoint Becca, let me know in advance and I'll have her move me up to the beginning of the agenda instead of the end.
Something different?
We'll shake it up.
Becca, you don't have to listen to that request. Your office is over there, right?
Yes, it is.
Read your motion, Mary.
Yes,
Could've been done
ma'am.
by now.
All right, this is a request to increase the 2023 annual appropriations for the Developmental Disabilities Fund overtime in the amount of $10,000.
Now, that was easy, wasn't it?
It was very easy.
Okay. We've had the reading of item 26. Do I have a motion to approve? She's in a hurry.
Make a motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? Well, let's read a book here. Roll call, Becca.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Nice seeing you again, Mary.
Jeez. Additions to the agenda.
Yeah, we have two. We can add them on at the same time, and then
Okay.
Wade can handle them separately. You have the.
Can we do an add-on to add both of them at the same time?
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to do that?
Sure. Change order number 12 and change order number 13, the juvenile court expansion.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
You ready?
Are you back, Wade?
I told you you were going to see it. Lyle would have left. I might have maybe saved some money somewhere. I've got maybe I can go to one of your projects and save some money. Track record. Tough crowd. Tough crowd.
Rough crowd.
I'll let him
this
deal.
morning.
We'll let him deal with Judge Shriver.
Ooh. Attorney's water.
Okay, we'll move on. We will move on, and thank you for the consideration. So we're going to add, I'm assuming, change order number 12, Mr. Eigel first, correct? Okay. This is a recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 12 to the contract with Mark Spalding Construction Company out of Florence, Kentucky, for construction of the Juvenile Court Expansion Renovation Project previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 1/26/22, 3/9/22, 6/29/22, 8/10/22, 11/2/22, and a bunch of dates all the way up to 5/3/23 for a net increase in the amount of $1,116.34, which represents changes relative to wood door delivery delay, as well as a credit in the amount of $813.73 due to ductwork changes, for a total adjusted contract price in the amount of $8,864,835.37, as more fully described therein, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth within the contract for juvenile court expansion.
Thank you. You want us to vote on these separately, correct? Can I have a motion to accept this add-on? Approve it?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And the next one will be a recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 13 to the contract with Mark Spalding Construction out of Florence, Kentucky for construction of the juvenile court expansion renovation project previously ratified multiple times by the Board of County Commissioners, which represents a net increase in the amount of $29,782 relative to undercut main entrance for a total adjusted contract price in the amount of $8,894,617.37, as more fully described therein, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth within the contract for the juvenile court expansion renovation.
I have a motion to approve this add-on.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call, Becca?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Wade.
Thank you.
Moving on to item H, we do need to go into executive session pursuant to section 121.22 G1 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or more public employees. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make that motion.
I will second. Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, we will return. We have returned from executive session. No decisions or actions were taken. We went in pursuant to section 121.22 G1 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or more public employees. Moving on to item I, county staff elected official discussion. Greg, tell us something good. Nothing good. Member comments?
No
Commissioner
comments
Corcoran?
today. Thank you.
Item K is adjournment.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I will second. Roll call, Becca?
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you for attending.